Hello everybody, I'm excited that this coming Sunday we're going to be able to meet here in our church building as a church family for the first time. Lots of preparation has gone into making it possible for us to meet here, and the following video aims to briefly bring you up to speed of what you're to expect and what it will look like should you be able to come to this service or services in the coming weeks. I'm really grateful for the many people who have responded to the email I sent out asking whether people are planning to attend these services in July. Just under half of the people that have responded are keen to come to at least one of the Sundays in July and one of the services. I do want to underline, however, that if you do not feel that it is appropriate for you to come and join us in the building here, we totally understand. We all have unique circumstances and need to work out what is best. For those of you that are able to come, hey, we're looking forward to seeing you soon. But we do want to stress as well that we're going to work really hard to make sure that we take good care of you, whether you feel you're able to meet physically with us in the building or whether you're just able to meet with us online. Preparations for coming to our services on Sundays really don't begin here in the building, but instead begin before you leave home. Before you head to church, do please use the toilets, because we're trying to minimise the number of people that need to use the toilets in the church building. And then there are a few things that you'll want to bring with you. Do please bring a Bible. We're not making available the church Bibles at the moment. And if you think you're going to need a drink of water, do bring a water bottle with you too. For those of you with young children, do think about some toys that you might want to bring with them, either to occupy them in the service or to make use of in the creche room should they need to head out at any point. If you're travelling by car, the car park at the rear of the church building will of course be available for you to use, but if you're able to park over the road at Tesco, we'd encourage you to do that. When you arrive at the church building, the strangest thing that you're going to have to get used to is that the main entrance that we would normally come in is not going to be available. It's just exit only, and instead you are to come in by the side entrance, not the main entrance. As you come in the side entrance, there are going to be two parts to the welcome team who are going to do different things as you come through the door. The first part of the welcome team will be just inside the side door here. As you arrive, you'll be asked to use some hand sanitizer in order to make sure that your hands are clean and that we're not bringing in any germs. And then the welcome team, as you come, will just take your temperature. We realise this is a step beyond what some places are doing, but we do want to be thorough, and we also want to encourage people that if you are in any way feeling unwell, please don't come to church. Stay at home. That's a simple way in which you can love one another by not coming when we're feeling unwell in any way. We've got a supply of masks which you can help yourself to if you would like one, but they're not in any way required if you'd rather not. That's the first part of the welcome team. Come on through and I'll tell you about the next bit. Before we get to the next welcome point, just to say that the toilets are available for you to use. There are a couple of restrictions. First up is to say that only one person is allowed in any of the toilets at one time. If there are any more, we can't observe social distancing. And if you've got children under 11, they will need to be accompanied by an adult from their household when they use any of the toilets. There are further instructions about the toilets and how to use them in there, but you'll be able to see them when you go in and use them on Sunday. The second part of the welcome team is here with our registration table, where we need to take a record of the names and contact details of anyone who comes to our church services in order that we can comply with the track and trace system that the government has in place. It would be really helpful if you're able to register before you arrive here, either by responding to the email that I send or by completing the online contact form on our website. But if you don't manage to do that and you still want to come, hey, we'd love to see you. Please just come on. through. Once we've got your name and your contact details, which we will store for 21 days, we will then, at the registration table, talk with you about where you'd like to sit and allocate you a seat in the main part of the church building. The first thing you'll notice about the main part of the church building is that there are far fewer chairs in here. We've had to thin out the seating in order that we can easily observe social distancing as we come and meet for the service. If you end up sitting down on a row with someone else from a different household, please do note that you'll need to keep 3 clear chairs between you and they. So if you end up sitting on one end of a row, someone else can sit on the far end of the row and they will be 2 metres away from you. As you arrive at the row of chairs where you're going to sit, we'd ask you please not to head away from those chairs, but instead to stay where you're placed. When it comes to the service, many of us will already be aware that one of the real downsides to meeting at the moment is that we're not going to be able to sing, and so many of us would love to be able to sing. That's such a brilliant part of meeting as God's people. We will, however, aim to make our services engaging and snappy. So they're going to be all-age services like the services that we've been putting online on each morning on YouTube. So the service will last 45 minutes. The talk is going to be really early on, and we're going to have puppets, not just on a screen. We're intending for Lucy and maybe even Ben to turn up in person. Grown-ups, if you've got children, we'd ask you to think about what could you bring with you to help occupy and engage your children through the whole of the service. Maybe some quiet toys to play with or some colouring in to do. However, if you've got children who just need some space to run around and to make some noise, you're of course really welcome to make good use of the church hall. To get there, you'll need to observe the one-way system and head out of the main doors of the church. And you also need to bring your own toys with you. At the end of the service, many of us would love to make time to mingle and talk to everybody. However, there's not going to be the opportunity to do that. We're not serving refreshments, and the government is encouraging us to minimise the amount that we mingle after a service in order to keep opportunities from the virus spreading down to a minimum. On top of that, we've also got a cleaning team that needs to get the church building ready again at 11:15 after the 9:15. Hearing all of these things may feel like you've got lots of formal rules to obey. But we need to remember as a church, don't we, what we've already learnt in recent weeks, that we are actually a family and that we thrive on relationships with one another. And so we'd encourage you to think, well, what could you do to help make time to spend with other people? And we'd encourage you to think through, is there another household that we could invite back to ours after the service for tea and coffee, maybe even for lunch? That would be a great way of seeing someone else from church. And on top of that, the relational element, we're wanting to fold some of that into the services we're running. So we're going to have news from someone in each service and how we can be praying for them, as well as those little opportunities before and after to talk with one another as we start to meet back as a family together. Do remember our service times. They're 9:15 and 11:15, same service repeated. And then we've also got our prayer meeting happening at 6:30 on Sunday evenings. We'd love you to join as many of those as you can and look forward to seeing you soon.